Imagine a life confined to a cell, the clang of bars, the ever-present surveillance. This is the stark reality for those sentenced to life imprisonment. But what happens when the punishment itself becomes a crucible, pushing the condemned to the brink of madness? The cases we'll explore today offer a chilling glimpse into the minds of criminals who, after receiving life sentences, descended into a terrifying abyss of insanity. These are stories of despair, remorse, and the disintegration of the human psyche under unimaginable pressure. They raise unsettling questions about the impact of life behind bars, the thin line between justice and cruelty, and the urgent need for mental health care within the prison system. The streets of Detroit witnessed a senseless tragedy on June 6, 2015. Christopher Reed, a young man full of life, became the victim of a brutal carjacking. His killer, Desmond FAA, now faces a lifetime behind bars. But the sentence, while bringing a semblance of justice, has unleashed a different kind of torment. Desmond FAA is a prisoner of his own mind, haunted by the consequences of his actions. The victim's family, forever scarred by the loss, shared their agony in court. Christopher's brother spoke of relentless nightmares. His mother, her voice choked with grief, described the gaping hole left in their lives. Their words echoed in the courtroom, a stark reminder of the devastation wrought by Desmond's crime. Desmond's behavior, once defiant, transformed into a chilling display of remorse. He rocks back and forth, muttering apologies to the ghosts that haunt his waking hours. His eyes, once filled with anger, now reflect a deep-seated terror, the terror of a man confronting the demons of his past. Anderson, South Carolina, a sleepy town shattered by the roar of gunfire. On September 28, 2016, 15-year-old Jesse Osborne opened fire at Townville Elementary School. His motive, a twisted act of revenge against his father, whom he shot dead moments before. Sentenced to life, Jesse's young life is now an empty shell, his mind a breeding ground for madness. Experts pointed to a volatile home environment, riddled with abuse and neglect. The internet, a double-edged sword, provided solace but also exposed Jesse to the dark underbelly of extremism. The judge, faced with an impossible decision, grappled with balancing punishment with the possibility of rehabilitation. The courtroom became a battleground of emotions. Families of the victims, their pain still raw, demanded justice. Jesse's own mother, her voice trembling with regret, spoke of her son's troubled past. The sentence, a life behind bars, offered little solace, only the grim certainty that Jesse Osborne would spend his days grappling with the consequences of his actions. The murder of Grammy-winning rapper Nipsey Hussle on March 31, 2019, sent shockwaves through Los Angeles and beyond. His killer, Eric Holder Jr., driven by a deadly cocktail of jealousy and paranoia, extinguished a bright light in the community. Sentenced to life in prison, Holder now faces a different kind of confinement, a prison of his own making. The trial exposed a chilling narrative of premeditation. Witnesses recounted Holder's erratic behavior, fueled by unfounded accusations and a simmering rage. Security footage captured the cold-blooded execution, leaving no doubt about Holder's intent. The jury's verdict, a resounding guilty, brought a sense of closure but could not erase the pain. Hussle's friends and family, their voices thick with grief, painted a portrait of a man who transcended the world of music. They spoke of his entrepreneurial spirit, his commitment to his community, and his unwavering belief in the power of hope. Their words, a poignant reminder of the life stolen, hung heavy in the courtroom, a stark contrast to the stoic silence of the man responsible for their pain. Section 5. Zachary Adams, trapped in a cage of his own making. The disappearance of nursing student Holly Bobo in 2011 gripped the small town of Parsons, Tennessee, in a vice of fear and uncertainty. The discovery of her remains 3 years later confirmed the community's worst fears. Zachary Adams, convicted of her kidnapping, rape, and murder, now faces a lifetime behind bars, his sanity slowly unraveling with each passing day. The trial, marked by gruesome details and conflicting testimonies, offered a glimpse into the dark underbelly of rural America. Holly's family, their grief etched on their faces, listened in horror as prosecutors laid out the evidence. Their daughter, once full of life and dreams, had been brutally snatched away, her future extinguished by a man consumed by darkness. Adams, once a shadowy figure at the edge of the investigation, became the focal point of the prosecution's case. His demeanor, a chilling mix of apathy and defiance, did little to sway the jury's opinion. The guilty verdict, a resounding condemnation of his actions, brought a sense of justice, but could not erase the pain. Section 6. Blake Scanlon, consumed by guilt and despair. The brutal murder of Alexis Avery in Springfield shook the community to its core. Stabbed 28 times by her own boyfriend, Blake Scanlon, Alexis became another victim of domestic violence. Sentenced to life, Scanlon now faces a different kind of torment, the relentless gnawing of guilt and the slow disintegration of his sanity. The courtroom became a crucible of raw emotion as Alexis's family shared their grief. Her stepmother, her voice breaking with sorrow, spoke of the pain of watching her husband crumble under the weight of his daughter's loss. Alexis's stepfather, his voice filled with anger and anguish, vowed to protect his granddaughter from the shadow cast by her father's actions. Scanlon's initial defiance crumbled under the weight of his crime. His outbursts, once fueled by anger, now revealed a man grappling with the enormity of his actions. The judge, visibly moved by the family's pain, handed down the maximum sentence life without parole. Section 7. Timothy Simpkins, a school shooter's regret. The halls of Timberview High School in Arlington, Texas, were supposed to be a safe haven for learning and growth. But on October 6, 2021, those halls echoed with the terrifying sound of gunfire. Timothy Simpkins, a student fueled by anger and resentment, brought a gun to school, forever altering the lives of his classmates and teachers. The trial exposed a toxic mix of bullying, peer pressure, and easy access to firearms. Simpkins, portrayed by his defense attorneys as a victim himself, expressed remorse for his actions. The prosecution, however, argued that his actions were deliberate and calculated, leaving a trail of physical and emotional scars. The jury grappled with the complexities of the case, a young man who had gone down a dark path, forever marked by the consequences of his choices. The verdict, guilty on multiple counts, brought a sense of closure but also highlighted the urgent need to address the root causes of violence in schools. Section 8. Gloria Williams, the kidnapper's long shadow. The kidnapping of newborn Camilla Mobley from a Jacksonville hospital in 1998 sent shockwaves through the nation. For 18 years, the mystery of her disappearance haunted her family and captivated the public's imagination. The truth, when it finally emerged, was as shocking as it was heartbreaking. Gloria Williams, driven by desperation and a longing for a child of her own, had abducted Camilla and raised her as her own. The courtroom reunion between Camilla and her biological parents was a bittersweet moment, filled with tears of joy and the pain of lost time. The judge, faced with the daunting task of balancing justice with compassion, grappled with the complexities of the case. Williams, her face etched with remorse, apologized for the pain she had inflicted, but her words could not erase the years of stolen memories. The case of Gloria Williams and Camilla Mobley is a stark reminder of the complexities of human nature, the capacity for both great love and devastating cruelty. It is a story about the enduring strength of family bonds and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable loss. Section 9. The fragile mind behind bars. The stories we've explored today offer a chilling glimpse into the dark side of human nature. They force us to confront uncomfortable truths about the limits of punishment and the fragility of the human psyche. Life behind bars, even under the most humane conditions, can be a soul-crushing experience. The isolation, the lack of meaningful human contact, the constant threat of violence, all of these factors can take a heavy toll on mental health. For those already predisposed to mental illness, the stress of incarceration can be the tipping point, pushing them over the edge into a world of delusion, paranoia, and despair. Section 10. A call for compassion and rehabilitation. The descent into madness behind bars is not an isolated phenomenon. It is a symptom of a system that often prioritizes punishment over rehabilitation. We must rethink our approach to criminal justice, recognizing that mental health care is not a luxury but a necessity, both inside and outside prison walls. We must invest in programs that address the root causes of crime, programs that provide inmates with the tools they need to heal, to grow, and to reintegrate into society as productive members. The goal should not be to simply warehouse the guilty, but to offer them a chance at redemption, a chance to confront their demons and to emerge from the darkness transformed.